You're watching Color 10 Springfield. The news begins now. The news you need to know. The area's most comprehensive weather coverage. The day's sports action. And all the color of the Ozarks, brought to you by the team that sets the pace. This is Color 10 Newsbeat.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. City utilities crews are busy tonight restoring power to Springfield residents who lost electricity because of the ice storm.
CU tree management crews spent most of today trimming ice-covered branches away from power lines. At one time today, CU spokesperson Ernie DeCamp says 3,000 residences across Springfield were powerless. Many residents found themselves doing unexpected yard work, and some are planning to spend the night without electricity.
Well, this neighbor across the street came out walking his dog, and he told me that the line was down in a pole and that it was shooting sparks, and that he had called city utilities, but they said there were a lot of them down, and they didn't know when they'd get here. So I called 911. And
City utilities and the fire department say CU's tree trimming policy saved many more electric lines from going down. About 800 city utilities customers are still without power. Spokesman DeCamp says crews will be working through the night to restore power. Area homeowners, builders, and insurance agents continue to battle the icy wet weather, rushing to try and protect homes already ravaged by Friday's tornado. A spokesman for State Farm Insurance says 200 of his company's policyholders sustained home damage in the killer storm. Another 70 people turned in claims reporting significant auto damage. Ken Gunter says State Farm will likely pay millions of dollars in claims, but he doesn't expect his company's rates to rise.
No, with our company, we load our rates every year for a catastrophe situation, and we feel very confident that our policyholder protection account, and that's the funds we keep in reserve for catastrophes, will more than handle this. We see no rate changes because of this catastrophe.
Gunter says storm victims who have not contacted their insurance agents need to do so immediately. He says they can be put up in hotels or temporary homes and can qualify for rental cars. Fire has shut down the Hudson Foods plant in Joplin. The early morning blaze all but destroyed a chicken processing plant. The fire centered in and around a large cooker, but authorities still aren't sure how the blaze started. Plant manager Ed Coyer says the plant's 32 workers no longer have jobs because Hudson has no plans to rebuild the facility. No one was hurt in the fire. Coyer says damage could run $600,000.
The first of a series of meetings offering various kinds of help to Springfield Zenith television workers facing job layoffs got underway today. Between now and December 13th, workers are learning about unemployment insurance, job training and funding, and are receiving job search assistance. In January, a special benefits and budgeting seminar will be conducted, followed by a program focusing on educational opportunities. As many as 1,500 Zenith employees are looking at the prospect of job loss by March of next year. Layoffs and an uncertain economy were two reasons given by Springfield Libertarians to council members tonight as they opposed a special election to vote on a 2% increase in the hotel-motel tax to fund a civic center. The Libertarian representative said they did not oppose the center, but they were against an increase in taxes to pay for it. Mayor Carlson ended the public hearing saying they would decide in 2 weeks whether to put the tax proposal before voters in a special election in March. Another action tonight, council members approved outlining steps to handle yard waste across the city when the state ban at landfills takes effect in January. Council members are calling for more drop-off sites for yard waste, such as by the airport or fairgrounds, and somewhere in the center city or north side. Taney County residents will pay a little extra now on their monthly phone bills. The Taney County Commission today approved an ordinance to begin collecting the 911 user fee beginning January 1st. The surcharge is 15% of a customer's basic telephone line fee. The money will be used to install Taney County's 911 emergency telephone communications system. Voters approved that issue during the April election.
A Branson woman who apparently killed her husband, 2 daughters, and critically wounded her son before killing herself Sunday had talked of doing it 1 week ago. That's what investigators told this coroner's jury this morning. 46-year-old Jane Dustin had recently undergone cancer surgery and may have been depressed. The 6-member panel decided she did shoot her husband Tom in his sleep early Sunday, then walked through their home shooting her children. Only 17-year-old William Dustin survived. Jane Dustin had warned family members she might do something this drastic.
I think she had expressed it to members of her family to the point that her husband had attempted to get the guns out of the house.
So it was a pretty clear indication.
Yes, right. I think she had confessed to perhaps her sister that lives elsewhere, who came down to visit her last week just because of her depression or whatever it was, that this was something she's contemplating.
The jury's decision, along with crime reports, will be forwarded to the Taney County prosecutor, who will make a final determination whether any charges need to be filed in the case. The lone survivor of Sunday morning's tragedy, 17-year-old William Dub Dustin, is listed in serious condition tonight in a Springfield hospital.
Coming up next, opening arguments begin in one of the most highly publicized rape cases of this decade.
And it's Freedom Day for another American hostage.
The debate continues on wheat bread versus white bread.
Peanut butter and jelly on wheat. White. Wheat's nutritious. White. Delicious.
Now on the table, Iron Kids bread. All the fiber, iron, and other important nutrients of standard whole wheat.
Delicious.
But with the look and taste of white.
Delicious.
Iron Kids bread from Colonial. The bread moms and kids can agree on.
When deregulation came to the savings and loan industry, some of the changes were good, but others were just not our cup of tea at Guarantee Federal Savings. We decided to concentrate on the traditional savings and loan services we've offered since 1913. Services we know we're good at. We did add checking with interest, but stayed out of many other new areas. Today, Guarantee Federal is still safe, sure, and secure, and growing. We're a savings and loan, a good one, and proud of it.
It's not easy being a truck.
Like a rock, I was strong as I could be. Like a rock, nothing ever got to me.
But through it all, the Chevy full-size has the best resale value in the business. Chevy trucks.
Like a rock,
The trucks you can depend on. The trucks that last.
like a rock.
We've made it even better. Taste the recipe. New from Highland. Premium old recipe ice cream. Quality checked for excellence. First in freshness, first in flavor. From Highland Dairy.
William Kennedy Smith listened in court today as his prosecutor described him as a cruel and vicious rapist, and while his own attorney portrayed him as a man who made love to a willing woman in the moonlight.
The two versions came as testimony began in the sensational trial of Senator Edward Kennedy's nephew. Mary Parks reports.
William Kennedy Smith, you shall have in charge.
The William Kennedy Smith trial revolves around whether the jury believes the 31-year-old medical school graduate or his accuser, a 30-year-old Jupiter, Florida woman charging him with rape at the Kennedy estate last Easter weekend.
She said, "You raped me." And he replied, "I did not. And no one's going to believe you anyway."
A team of defense lawyers headed by Roy Black would like the jury to believe the accuser is simply a scorned lover.
The issue in this case for you to decide is whether or not there was a crime. And you will hear from the testimony that there not only was no crime, but this was a consensual act of sexual intercourse. While she's becoming hysterical, she says to Will, "Michael, you raped me." And he keeps saying, "Well, what are you talking about? I haven't raped you, and my name's not Michael. Who's Michael? I'm William."
Possible witnesses in the case number 130, though only a few are likely to testify. The Kennedy Smith family will bring in expert witnesses in meteorology, astronomy, psychiatry, and botany, all to disprove Smith's accuser. Despite a barrage of media, Smith has appeared relaxed and confident the jury will believe he is innocent of rape. In West Palm Beach, Florida, Mary Parks for CBS News.
The latest freed hostage, Joseph Sicipio, is in Germany tonight, one step away from his first trip home in more than 5 years. Sicipio told reporters tonight he feels great and will undergo a series of medical tests before heading back to the U.S. Relatives back in Norristown, Pennsylvania say Sicipio's release brings them joy, but his brother Thomas says he's concerned his sibling looks like he aged a lot. Sicipio will be reunited with members of his family in Germany tomorrow. And there's hope yet another American hostage in Lebanon is about to be freed. The Islamic Jihad for the Liberation of Palestine says it will free American educator Alan Steen within 48 hours. If Steen is released, then the only remaining American held hostage in Lebanon would be journalist Terry Waite. 2 Germans are still held. An Italian is reported missing but is believed to be dead.
I came back tonight at around 8 o'clock from a Christmas celebration we're going to tell you about more later in the news. But I swear that, why don't I swear, but I promised that it was snowing a little bit, and you came in 15 minutes later and said you didn't see anything.
Right, that was you were on the northwest side of town,
right.
I was on the east side of town. Very spotty. I did have a report from Fair Play of about 1/8 of an inch on the ground, and then it stopped.
So I wasn't seeing things.
No.
Good.
No, you weren't. Well, I'll tell you, we went from tornadoes on Friday, a very unfortunate thing there, to ice storm today, and now the precipitation part of that is over, but it's going to get cold. In fact, it could get very close to a record-breaking cold on Wednesday morning, and the only good thing about that is it's not going to last very long. But what also isn't lasting very long is the cloud cover and the precipitation. As you can see on our movie here, the higher, wider clouds are where the precipitation is falling, and that last trail is moving out, and what's left is a low gray cloud, kind of a drizzle, freezing drizzle, light snow situation. That is coming to an end finally across the area. Now, temperatures are right around freezing in the area still. It hasn't changed much since 6 o'clock. It's 29 in Springfield, about a 2 or 3 degree drop for us here. Freezing in Harrison right now, Joplin 29, they're reporting some light snow there. Chanute down to 23. The skies are breaking up just a little bit out here, and it's possible that some of us up in the north and the northwest could get down to the lower 20s tonight, but that would be a brief drop down, then the temperatures will come back up as soon as the cloud cover rolls back in again. Little Rock 42, Jonesboro 39, that's where the real warm stuff is tonight. Light snow and 29 degrees at the airport right now, very, very light snow. Humidity 92%. Northwest winds picking up a little bit, as I said they would, 8 miles per hour. They'll get a little bit gustier toward morning even, and the barometer is rising. Our high temperature today was 33 degrees, overnight low 28, may drop below that before midnight tonight, but we're supposed to be up to 50, and I do have a 50 in the forecast, but it's no time soon, I can tell you that. 72 in 1970, the record high, 6. The record low in 1985, and our precipitation total for the month now is almost 9/10 of an inch, and most of that fell since midnight last night. Now, high temperatures today were very balmy in the southeast, where record high temperatures were broken. 80s all solidly covering the Florida Peninsula, 70s and 60s as close as places like Jackson, Mississippi, but we quickly drop off here into the 30s. Highs only in the teens and single digits across the northern tier states, and there's cold air coming in behind this frontal system right here. Snowing from northern Missouri up into Wisconsin. This low will move across the east tomorrow and produce a lot of wet weather, but it's this next cold front that we're watching. It'll dive on down, doing its thing just east of the Rockies here like it so often does, and that will bring in another Arctic blast for tomorrow late in the day and into Wednesday morning, when low temperatures will be down for some of us in the single digits. But look, tomorrow, see the high in Bismarck will only be 5. Here comes the cold front. That could be accompanied by a rather heavy snow band in northeast Missouri, but that shouldn't affect us any. By Wednesday morning, though, single digits and teens with sub-zero readings covering most of the northern plains. Our forecast then for tonight, the light rain, light freezing rain, and snow is all coming to an end gradually. We'll get down into the mid-20s for some of us. Only around 30 degrees, though, for a low. Cloudy and windy tomorrow, a couple of afternoon flurries to contend with. No storms here of any kind, though. 32 to 36 for highs, northwest winds. Tomorrow night it'll clear out and the temperatures will plummet. 12 in Springfield, 8 maybe in some areas. And Wednesday, partly cloudy and a cold day. The sun will benefit us psychologically, I think, but 30 will only be the high temperature. But then 48, 45, and 50 for highs Thursday through Saturday. I told you there was a 50 in there somewhere. It's way at the end of the train, so you're going to have to wait quite a bit.
That's right.
A Eureka Springs business is celebrating 90 years of pampering its customers.
Up next, a trip to the palace for some royal treatment.
We love you as consumers. You get good service every day.
Because nothing pleases us like pleasing you. Here's more proof. Boneless round steak, $1.79 a pound. Russet potatoes, 10-pound bag, 99 cents. Consumers white bread, a quarter. Mega margarine, 3 pounds, 99 cents. Yes, Consumers has quality, variety, value, and gift baskets, too.